Alright, so in this demo I'm going to try to showcase the idea of an intelligent workspace, one that's tightly integrated with AI that would allow an expert or a learner to leverage AI for their work. I'm going to try to get AI to help guide me through the drug discovery process. I don't have any expertise whatsoever in this field, so I'm basically going to just spitball along the way and see what the AI can do. The goal is to demonstrate the flexibility and the dexterity of a platform, allowing a human and a bot to try to work together. Hopefully everything goes well and we can demonstrate that process. I'm gonna use one of the assistants that I already have created. If you've been following us, you can see there are a ton of assistants that come out of the box. Of course, you can create your own, and in practice, you'll be creating your own AI assistants. We'll use Gemini as our AI provider, so let's open a Gemini project session. And I'm going to use Edgar, which is a personal assistant that will help with this task. Edgar has access to a bunch of tools that you'll be able to use, and has access to an assistant, which is a Linux programmer called Term. I don't know if Edgar would use Term along the way, but that's available. That assistant basically has access to a Linux operating system, which is what's running the software. So if you imagine a Linux operating system as a mega tool set, it's hard to beat. So let's start. I'm gonna tell Edgar to help me out. Hey Edgar, I'm working on a drug discovery project that I need your support with. I want you to create a project folder for me and create a project document that outlines the process for cancer drug discovery. Try to fill out the project plan as much as possible based on your knowledge. Once you write out the project plan, let me know. Okay, so while Edgar is working on that, we'll continue our research. Since we are fast learners, hopefully we'll figure something out. We can also get Edgar to help us out with.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I understand you need me to create a project folder and a project document outlining the process for cancer drug discovery. I will fill out the project plan as much as possible, based on my knowledge. I will let you know once I have completed the project plan. Edmond, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I have created the project folder and the project document outlining the process for cancer drug discovery. The project plan is saved as cancer_drug_discovery/project_plan.md. Is there anything else you need my assistance with?
Okay, so Edgar has created a project plan. Let's take a look. All right, so we're gonna get Edgar to fill this out a little bit more, including a detail for our next step. Since I have no clue what I'm doing, hopefully Edgar would give me an idea. Now, in practice, you're not going to be a complete novice. Um, the idea here is the AI as an assistant, so you do actually have to be a human being who knows what they're doing. Um, I don't know what I'm doing here, but hopefully I'll be able to convey to you the idea behind an integrated AI-supported workspace, which is the goal here. It's not to actually show that AI can help, or at least that a novice can, you know, go into drug discovery. That is absolutely not what we're trying to do here. And also demonstrating this back and forth where I can talk to the AI and, say, yeah, go ahead and do X, Y, and Z. Yes, Edgar, I want you to, for the first step of the project, I want you to fill out the details of what the next steps are and let me know, and update the document as well. Okay. While Edgar is working on that, we'll try to increase our knowledge here.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I understand you want me to fill out the details of the next steps for the first stage of the project, which is target identification and validation. I will update the project document with these details and let you know once it's done. I have updated the project document with details for the first step, target identification and validation. The updated document is saved as cancer_drug_discovery/project_plan.md. Is there anything else you need my assistance with?
Okay, so this is still very too high level for me. I'm gonna ask Edgar to provide me with very concrete next steps to work with. Hey Edgar, I really want you to give me exact next steps, as in what type of information do you think I'm gonna need to get started on that first step. Uh, Include those details in terms of requirement. Feel free to include the actual scientific knowledge that's required, or the scientific data that you think I'm gonna need to continue on to the next step.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I understand you need more specific next steps, and the type of information required to get started on the target identification and validation stage. I will provide those details, including the scientific knowledge and data that might be necessary, and update the project document accordingly. Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I have updated the project document with specific next steps and requirements for the target identification and validation stage. The updated document is saved as cancer_drug_discovery/project_plan.md. Is there anything else you need my assistance with?
Yes, Edgar. Please create an application using the web browser that'll help me provide that information to you. So this is going to leverage the application generation capabilities. Think of it as a just-in-time human interfacing tooling that allows the AI to work with the human. It'll probably create something very simple, like a form or something, but depending on the application or the discipline, you'll probably pre-create such tools. You could imagine having a whole library of such human interfacing applications created and integrated into your automation programs like Edgar, and then that can be surfaced. In other words, in practice, you probably would not be creating applications on the fly. You'll think about what the application is supposed to do, and maybe even just leverage some of the other capabilities on the platform, like the low-code app creation, to generate those apps. But for this demo, we'll have Edgar just create one on the fly.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I understand you need a web application to help you provide the necessary information for the target identification and validation stage. I will create a simple web application using the available tools and open it in your web browser.
Okay, so Edgar has created an application here, which I think there's a bug in here. It did something that it's not supposed to do. We didn't get a chance to interact with that application.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I have created a web application to help you input the necessary information for the target identification and validation stage. I've opened it in your web browser. Please fill out the required fields and submit the form. Once you submit the form, I will incorporate the information into the project plan. Is there anything else you need my assistance with in the meantime?
Okay, so we're gonna get it to try to open the application again. Hey Edgar, it looks like the application that you created was closed by accident. Please just reopen it again. Reopen the same application.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I understand the web application was closed accidentally. I will reopen the same application in your web browser.
Okay, so this is our application that Edgar created. So this application, something very simple, was generated on the fly. As I mentioned earlier, in practice, you would not necessarily be generating applications like this on the fly because you would know already what type of application your discipline requires, and maybe you have developers recreate those and integrate them into the assistant so that you can call on them. The assistant would know when they have access to such tooling and would be able to pull it up. So this can be something as simple as a form, or it could be something quite substantial, including all kinds of levers to be able to provide the kind of information back into the AI collaboration process that would help move things along. I think there isn't a bug that has to be logged that keeps prematurely closing the application, which should not be happening. But the goal of this demo is to show the ideas of having an intelligent workspace where a bot and a human can have a back and forth towards some goal. It's obviously still a work in progress. The latency is not ideal, but considering what gets achieved when it gets it right, makes it perhaps acceptable. So I'm gonna stop here. I would have been able to send this output directly to email, but I suspect the bot already submitted this form prematurely because of that bug that I mentioned that will address. Might have to do with just improving the prompt.
Edmund, this is Edgar, your personal assistant. I have reopened the web application for the target identification and validation stage. Please provide the necessary information. I have the following information so far. Menor. Asterisk specific cancer type. Cancer. Asterisk data sources. Broad Institute dataset. Asterisk bioinformatics tools. To be determined. Asterisk experimental validation techniques. To be determined. Asterisk target selection criteria. To be determined. I will add this to the project plan. Is there anything else you need help with?
Okay, so even though it prematurely captured the data that I put in here, and which is not what I want, because I want to be able to complete what I'm doing before it captures it. You heard it did see the information, and it's going to integrate it directly into the project plan. I could then tell it to just email that plan somewhere. There's tooling to do that as well, or integrate into some other system, connect to the internet. The software runs on full cloud computing instances, so you have access not just to the Solvent platform capabilities, but including the operating system capabilities. So you could imagine what possible tooling integrations one could create for all kinds of sophisticated use cases. Hopefully, this gets across, the idea of humans and bot collaborating in a highly integrated um, environment and platform. There's a lot more that we could do here, but I think this is sufficient to at least show some of the possibilities of the future. You can take a look at the log of this conversation that we had here, including the information that was captured from the form. If I take a look, here it is. That data that I entered here, it's here. So you could imagine this going into maybe a database. As I mentioned, this is a simple form, but it could be something much more sophisticated if we're talking about scientific work or engineering work. Maybe you have visualizations here, maybe you have simulations, whatever it is that the application does. There is a potential for that application's input to come via a bot and its output to be processed via the bot, including via some other external component that the bot would use as tooling. Thank you for your time, and maybe we'll create some more examples of this idea. Thank you very much.